And we're back. I'm sitting here with Alex Wong. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So Alex, for folks who may not be familiar with you or your work, can you give us a little bit of an introduction?
Yeah, I'm Alex. I'm currently a junior at the University of Southern California, studying industrial and systems engineering. Then I'm also doing my Master of Public Policy at USC. So it's this interesting combined program, but I took a human factors class my sophomore spring, so last semester, and I started working on a research paper for that class. It was a human factors kind of based investigation of a train accident in Chicago a couple of years ago. And that's kind of blossomed into a bigger like rail safety research project that I've been working on with my professor at USC. And she was the one who kind of told me to submit an abstract to HFES and come to the conference. So that is why I'm here.
Oh, so they got you. They got you.
Yes, yeah.
Great. So Alex, you're here. This is your first time here?
Indeed, yes.
Okay, great. And so we don't actually have the perspective from anyone that we've recorded so far of sort of what the experience has been like from a first-time student's perspective. So I'd love to hear, what is new about the conference to you? What's it like?
Yeah, I think one thing that was really interesting that I didn't expect when I first came here was that there are so many people here who are like psychologists or otherwise non-engineering people. Because my exposure to human factors is through industrial engineering, and all of the human factors like work and things that I've done before are in an industrial engineering role. So it is fascinating to see the like interdisciplinary perspectives available here. And then also like just how widely applicable human factors is. I like industrial engineering because there's so many things that you can do with it, and it's really cool to see that human factors is applied in the military, in other defense sectors, in transportation, in usability, websites, technology, things like that. So super interesting stuff that I've seen so far.
Yeah, it's like wherever there's a human involved, we're
Exactly,
there. We're there.
Humans are everywhere, right?
Yeah. So what's particularly interesting? What kind of interesting things have you seen while you're here?
I think I'll shout out two of the sessions that I've been to. So one yesterday was surface transportation one. It was about barriers to electric vehicle adoption. I'm very interested in transportation, particularly like public transit and electrification and connected vehicles. So that was like already kind of up my alley. But there was a lot of talk about like all the challenges with making electric vehicle charging really accessible, different behaviors of electric vehicle drivers compared to internal combustion engine vehicle owners, things like that. And the super cool thing was I drive an electric vehicle in Southern California. So a lot of the things that were talked about were things that I saw on an everyday basis when I'm driving and existing in Southern California, right? Like one of the things that was talked about was the pretty abysmal reliability of electric vehicle chargers. I think it was like only 75% of the EV chargers were working at any given time in this study that a professor conducted. And in my experience, like sometimes I go to an EV charger, public EV charger, and they're just not working, which is, it's not great, especially considering that California is trying to get to 100% EV very, very. And then also like another thing that was discussed was like the fact that EV drivers tend to brake a lot more aggressively than internal combustion engine drivers, and also accelerate a lot harder than ICE drivers, which makes sense because EVs can deliver a lot more horsepower and torque than your standard gas vehicle, right? And I mean, I've noticed that since I've switched to an EV, like I will like slam on the gas, and like go really fast, like merging on the freeway. I feel like I've become a little bit more of an aggressive driver. So that's super fascinating that the research supports what I see in real life.
I'm telling you, those surface transportation sessions are like sleeper hits. Like I could go on and on and on about like the width of road lines and the length of road lines and the signs and the signage and the font and everything. Like it's insane how like detailed you get in city planning and all that. It's sleeper hit. And in another life, I am a systems or not a. I'm a surface transportation girly. And then so um, so I guess, what are you excited for in the future? Are you coming back? You gonna be here next year?
I mean, if I get the funding again, but I mean, I think I've learned a lot here, like, and seeing all these different things that I was talking about, as well as like meeting professionals in this field that I haven't had a ton of exposure to in the past. Um, so like, I would definitely be excited to come back. And if my research project progresses as well,
Yeah.
like I would love to present a more fleshed out version at a future HFES. So.
Awesome. Well, we'll spread the word about human factors. I think
Of
it's really
course, yeah.
important. We don't do the best job of marketing ourselves, but where can folks find out about you, or if they want to connect with you, maybe chat about your experience here?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. If you look up Alex Wong, there are many people with the same name as me. But if you put USC after that, you should be able to find me.
Okay.
You can also check out my website, alexwong.net. Um, I have some interesting like projects and stuff on there. I also work on like web development stuff, as well as like urbanism and like city planning types of things. So there's a mishmash of random content on there.
Super cool. Alex, thank you for telling us about your experience. So glad you're here. We'll be back with more right after this. Stay tuned.
Hello, and we're back. We're here at the HFES Aspire Student Lounge, joined with Lilia from Embry-Riddle University. Lilia, do you want to talk a little bit about yourself?
Yes, so I am a master's student studying human factors at Embry-Riddle University in Daytona Beach, Florida. And I am here for the first time presenting a poster tomorrow about air traffic management, students learning about stress management techniques.
Okay, that's great. And so for Daytona Beach, did you bring some of the cooler weather? Maybe a little bit humid over there, but still not as warm it is out here. It's been kind of a heat wave going on here, at least for my.
Oh yes, yeah. Arizona feels like a blow dryer pretty much.
Yeah, but they say it's a dry heat, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know whatever that means. So in terms of was it stress in air traffic control?
Yes.
What is one kind of key finding that you want to tell folks about how air traffic controllers deal with stress, or kind of one specific thing that you're looking at in terms of stress?
Well, we're specifically teaching air traffic management students at Embry-Riddle,
Mhm.
so college students studying for their bachelor's in air traffic management,
Oh, okay.
and seeing if having a class about stress management will be effective for how they control traffic, simulated traffic in classes.
Okay, so by getting started in some of these human factors-based techniques and methods can help them when they start moving on to their career. So it may be in traffic management and maybe in other things, professional life. These kind of things can be applied throughout. So sure, it's a great learning experience for them.
Oh yes, it definitely is. Yeah, even during the studies when they're learning about stress management techniques, they're really enjoying it and really saying that it's very helpful for them, not only in their classes, but also in real life.
Yeah, that's a lot of those things when you take the class and you wonder, hey, is this going to be helpful later on? Some things that you find years after you take the class, it's like, oh gosh, it was a little bit difficult or a little bit different. I didn't like it at the time, but hey, now it's kind of cool. So let's think about some of your experiences here at HFES. You mentioned it's the first time doing a poster. Is your first time at HFES in general?
Yes, it's my very first time doing the conference or attending the conference.
Oh, sounds great. So there are a lot of things at the opening reception in terms of having the different groups across the wall. I remember that happening on Monday night. Were you able to attend some of that?
Unfortunately not, because I just got here.
Oh, you just got here.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. I know that you got a lot going on, and especially with your poster later on this week. Okay, so well, in terms of other kinds of students and other attendees from your specific school, do you know how many folks roughly that are attending?
I didn't get a number, but I'm sure.
Okay, I'm sure you'll run into them and
Yes,
other
I will.
professors and things. Well, hey, glad to be there. I know coming from the East Coast, the travel can be a little bit much. So in terms of something exciting in both in your career and other kinds of things, what is one thing that you look forward to this week?
Just learning more about human factors and how it has an impact not only in aviation but in other fields as well.
Okay, that's great. Well, hey, thank you for taking the time.
Yes.
And back over to you, Nick.
And we're back. I'm sitting here with Algelia Burton. Algelia, thank you for being on the show and coming to talk with us. So for folks who are unfamiliar with you or your work, could you just give us a little bit of background about who you are?
Okay. Well, yes. Hi, everyone. As was stated, my name is Algelia Burton. I am currently a human factor engineering professional. I work in the aerospace industry. So just mainly right now working within like design for maintainer work, focusing on building digital human models to ensure that products we build fit the human. So do that day in, day out. And also I'm a part-time graduate student. So balancing
Excellent.
work, full-time work and grad school.
Oh, you're doing it all. So you're here to talk because this is your first time at HFES.
Yes.
So tell me, how is it? What are you finding interesting?
It's been great so far. I think this is my first conference where I've been to more so lecture style. Most conferences are like workshops, so it's just one setting, not like a workshop with 3 different presentations within. So I like that setup. Is really different to be able to get different perspectives. So it's been a great experience. I've mostly been in the healthcare track just because that's where my graduate school work will lean towards. So just getting a foundation of what's going on and what may, pique my interest to start looking into more.
Yeah, you got an interesting perspective, someone who's both in working and in graduate school. And so, are you finding anything particularly useful to you? You're kind of looking out throughout these sessions?
Well, I would say particularly useful. I would say just like I said, just the presentation style, what that looks like, the information, how it's being presented, and the flow. That's been useful just for my future reference of how to present information, because I haven't done that professionally yet. So that's given me good perspective, and even the feedback that's given to the presenters, that's helping me with how I can present future work, not only for my job, but also in my graduate school. So.
You meet any cool people?
I met a few cool people, yeah, especially in the sessions afterwards. So it was cool to meet one of the professors who had several students in one of the sessions I was a part of presented, and to meet the professor right afterwards. So that was cool, and just speak with them briefly. I also met a emergency medicine doctor who focuses on human factors. So looking forward to furthering that connection as well. So yeah, it's been good.
Gotcha. So you're here. This is your first time. Are we going to see you next year in Chicago? Or
hopefully, Chicago isn't too far from where I live. That's a train ride. So I would love to be there next year. Would like to have, with all the experience I gained throughout the next year, be able to interact more. So far, I'm more so listening, just gaining knowledge. So next year, I would look to be more interactive, like within the session, be able to understand a little bit more of what's happening.
Great.
But right now, I'm just soaking it in.
I know. Anything you excited for next year? You looking out for anything particular?
Honestly, I'm enjoying the healthcare track. So aerospace stuff is also cool, but I would say no, that in particular, just seeing what just within a year's time, how things are innovated and what new technologies and research people are doing.
Great.
So.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by. Where can folks find you if they want to connect with you and learn more about what you do?
LinkedIn. You can message me on LinkedIn. That's about the easiest way.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by, Algelia. All right. We're going to be back with more right after this. Stay tuned.
Are you tired of boring lectures and textbooks on human factors and UX? Well, grab your headphones and get ready for a wild ride with the Human Factors Minute podcast. Each minute is like a mini crash course packed with valuable insights and information on various organizations, conferences, usability methods, theories, models, certifications, tools, and much more. We'll take you on a journey through the fascinating world of human factors, from the ancient history to the latest trends and developments. Listen in as we explore the field and discover new ways to enhance the user experience. From the Think Aloud protocol to the critical incident technique, focus groups, iterative design, we'll make sure that you're the smartest person in the room. Tune in on the 10th, the 20th, and the last day of every month for a new and interesting tidbit related to human factors. Don't miss out on the Human Factors Minute podcast, your ultimate source for all things human factors.